Hey, there we
Hello.
go. How are we?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm terrific.
You are
Sorry.
so Yellowstone backdrop right now.
Yeah, this is the cabin in the woods in Montana where I stay most of the time.
That's
Sorry, if the elk
amazing.
offends you, I can frame him out.
No, no, I love it. I love the
He's the
vibe.
protector. He's the protector of the house.
That's amazing. So you play Ryan on Paramount Plus Yellowstone, of course.
Mhm.
Currently on the fifth season. I want to know what your favorite part has been playing the character.
Having the landscape to play in. You know, we have these sets that are built inside sometimes, and or stages that actors get to play on. When your set, your playground is the mountains of Montana, and you get the animals and the livestock to interact with, as well as things like roping and performing in on a 360 stage with all of the components, the other characters outside in the Western world. That's been my most favorite because it's very unique. Even if you do get to ride maybe or do a little bit of cowboy stuff or sort of chase somebody down on a horse, you don't get to put them all together. So having 4 or 5 people in the bunkhouse doing that at once, yeah, that's been my favorite thing. Doing it as like a troupe, and so that would be it.
That's amazing. I was actually going to ask you, the bunkhouse can get kind of rowdy at some times. Now, do you guys ever have to do any prep for those scenes, or are there any funny moments when you're filming those scenes?
The best thing about the bunkhouse is that it's sort of like dynamite by itself because it's 4 or 5 or 6 or sometimes 10 people in a small space, each with their own, and it's written that each one wants their own thing. They have their own desires. So it's a pressure keg, and it's only a matter of time before you kind of bump into one another metaphorically, and then it ignites, and that's what makes it exciting. So the prep is really letting go so that you can listen and watch everyone else and really be present in the scenes so that you can react properly instead of thinking, well, I want to do this at this point, or I'm waiting for this to do my fun stuff. You just let that all go and you watch what's happening, and then new things will occur that you weren't even imagining, and that's really where the magic comes from. So we don't have to prep. Funny things happen all the damn time. I'll give you an example. There was a shower scene. I don't know if it's been on yet or if it's about to come on, but at the end of the scene, Denham has to brush his teeth in the bunkhouse deal, and so we go through the whole scene, and he goes to grab his toothbrush, and at the end, he picks it up. It's got like this black like shoe polish on it every time, and he's like, "What the hell is this?" And so they clean it off. They get him a new one. And sure enough, he places it at the beginning of the scene, watches it, and he's ready. So we do the scene. He comes at the end, brushes teeth. It's all got this black crap on it. This happens like 4 or 5 times, and he's starting to get weird. And there's a prankster called Jake, and we're certain that it's him. And they almost get into a fight. And Jake is like, "It's not me, dude. I swear to God, I'm not doing it." And this happens like a dozen times. And then finally, Ryan Bingham, at the end, he listens to Denham tell the story, and he's like, "Oh shit, man, I'm sorry about that. As I was walking out, I grabbed that and I put my charcoal toothpaste on it, and then I set it down every time, and no one saw it, so it looked like someone was making a prank on Denham every time." But stuff like that will happen because there's so many people in such a small space, and so it turned out to not be Jake. It was just an accident of the scene.
That's so funny. So you guys must get pretty close on set then. I want to know who have you kind of gotten closest with on set? You guys are all together. I want to know.
I spend the most time with Denham Richards, Cole Hauser, and Jen Landon because we're always kind of doing the same thing. We're always on horseback together. We ride a lot. We play poker together. We go over to people's house and we drink, or we'll go to the river and we'll sit on the side of the river and throw rocks or go ATV. And so I would say those are my 3 closest buddies on set.
That's awesome. Jen's character always has her accent.
She's been perfecting that since she got the audition years ago, and Taylor showed me audition tape one day when we were at work, and he said, "Check this out. This is the girl I hired for Teeter." He showed me on his phone, and in the beginning you can't understand her, and even as she's developed it more and more, it's getting harder and harder for other people that don't really know her, but to pick it up. It's kind of like a language when it's written on the script, and it's phonetically written like you can't understand what the words are when you're reading it. You have to phonetically sound it out and be like, "You're dumb son of a bitch. You're a dumb son of a bitch." It takes you that long to figure it out, but she's got it down and she's mastered it. She's got this like fake dip in her cheek that kind of makes her lips stick out, and she's really, fully methoded into the character. So she's a stunner, and if you know her, she's nothing like that in real life.
Yeah.
So she's, that's props to her acting ability.
It must be funny at times on set when you were getting used to listening to her speak.
We do know what the words are, but when you hear them for the first time and you watch her say them and her perform it, you get to be an audience member and enjoy it for the first time. So, we laugh our asses off and try not to, in the middle of a scene, crack up, especially in the bunkhouse, because she'll oftentimes ad-lib things and make up new stuff that's as funny as some of the scripted things. And but also then again, if the whole bunkhouse cracks up, then sometimes they use it because it's natural and it's an organic moment. So absolutely. I don't want to say we have free reign, but we do have a lot of liberty in there, which makes it a lot of fun for us.
That's incredible. Now, I know that you've probably gotten asked this before, but I wanted to bring it up because you played a young Kevin Costner in the 1994 movie Wyatt Earp, and now you're working with him on Yellowstone. Kind of a full circle moment. It is exactly full circle, going from cowboy to cowboy. That was quite a while ago, and he was very kind to me on that set as a producer. Gave me some advice, and we talked just about everything. And then, of course, we remember that when we on our first day. When we did the table read, we shook hands and had a big hug and a laugh, and we tell that story to new people when they come on set. So it's just kind of the way the universe works. It puts you where you're supposed to be, and it's inevitable, I think, at certain times. So it makes perfect sense when you think about it, and I'm very grateful for it. That's incredible. Now, how did you land the role? Did you have any idea when you read the script that it was going to be like the show that it's become? I read the script, and I knew the script was not as close to flawless as you can get for the start of a new saga. And it had all the makings of, this could go for 5 or 6 years because of what it is. So it was brilliantly written. And it was flawless. Let's just say what it was. So, of course, I want to do it. I read for Jamie, which is played by Wes Bentley, for the son, Jamie Dutton. And when you read it the first time, there's no visuals in your mind about who plays who, just the tone and the essence of the characters. You kind of put Jamie on tape, got notes, was asked to do it again, got notes, was asked to do it again. So after 3 times, you think you're getting really close. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get this. Get a call saying, hey, great job. You're not Jamie. And I'm like, oh, you get crushed because your mind starts to think, where's this going to go and all that stuff. But they say, we'd like you to do something. I say, okay, what? They say, Ryan. I say, great. Who's Ryan? And they say, we don't know. But if you trust us, come along on the journey, come and play, and we'll figure it out. And I said, okay. So that's how I got the job. And then, of course, you have no idea what it's going to become. But after the first season, I thought this has real legs, and this could go on for a long time. After last season, it's the most watched show on television. So we have a pretty good sense that if we keep working as hard as we have been, that it's going to continue to provide the dividends. That's amazing. What's your biggest takeaway been, looking back from season 1 to season 5 as an actor? The biggest takeaway is that if you create something, some product for a group of people, not just about them. This isn't a show about cowboys. It's for cowboys. It's for ranchers. It's for farmers. It's for people that live in the American West and this culture. At the forefront of what your story's about, and every time you have a question or you're uncertain of turn or fork in the road, what am I doing? If you go back to that it's for them, it's for who they are, for them to watch it. If you stay true to that, then you're going to be successful. Most shows are about something. And the writers generally aren't that thing. They do research about it, but they're not. And they don't get it. And they just try to present something. And that's why they are, what they are. The takeaway from this show is that because our creator has stayed true to that ideal at every turn, that's why people constantly come up to us and say, hey, you got it right. Thank you for representing us correctly. Even the first people, all of the nations that have been here, the longest will say, wow. And that's how this is more than just a TV show. It's a cultural phenomenon, and it's a thank you to an entire society and culture, way of life, and the history of the people that have been here. So that's a big deal. I mean, that's a lot. Absolutely. To say that about a television program I don't know that that's ever happened before. No, for sure. That's absolutely incredible. And you guys are doing such a great job. Such a great show. So,
Thank you.
do you have cowboy experience, by the way?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. I grew up on
Yeah.
my grandfather's ranch in Wisconsin. So I was very, in the summertime, my mom would be like, "You're going to grandpa's for 3 months." And I'd be like, "Woohoo." So I would be on a horse every day. I'd be pretending to be a cowboy, running around, just playing the life on the land since I was a kid. And having that background makes it a lot easier to focus on, performing. So you don't have to worry about learning how to control a horse or throw a rope because you know all that stuff. So you could do that sort of in the background and
Absolutely.
then still say your words because the acting is still important. Like you gotta perform, you gotta mean it. You can't just ride a horse around and play a cowboy. You have to be the person as well. So I'm lucky I had that background.
That's great. Now, Teen Wolf, the movie, we got to talk about
Teen
this.
Wolf.
So, 2023, Paramount Plus, tell me what it's been like to revisit your character, Peter, and then work with all of the cast after all these years.
Yeah, I think we aired our last episode 5 years ago. So it's been a long time. And it's always kept alive in my mind because they're my best friends in the world. I speak to either Tyler or JR or Holland every day. I speak to one of them every day. So it doesn't feel like it's away. We're not on set anymore, but we're constantly reminded. We go to conventions, we talk to fans and interact and what have you. But over the last year, when there's been some murmurs of, hey, we want to do a film and get everybody back together, that's really exciting. Because there's a time gap and people change and they have kids and they get older and whatnot. So the thought of, well, where are they now and what have they done? What have they gone through and how are they different? Yes, I want to, please count me in. So got the script, loved it. It's action packed from start to finish. It's just going to be a ride with no breaks. And then now that we're done, I want to do more. I miss the relationships, I miss the faces, and I miss the time. So I'm trying to figure out a way to either get more films done or do some spin-offs or something so we can all stay together.
Absolutely. Would you say this is going to be a movie for the fans?
This is absolutely going to service the fandom and what they want and give them more of the things that they liked the most. I'm super happy to reprise Peter because although there's a time gap between the end of the last season, he's a supernatural creature and he doesn't really age, like me. so that's a different, it's different to think of him in that way, but he's up to the same antics and shenanigans, and character wise, I really think he's going to be a hit because the fans are just going to dig what Jeff has written for him to do.
Your character, in Teen Wolf is so different from your character in Yellowstone. How does it kind of feel to play, a villain antagonist type character and then go and play, Ryan in Yellowstone?
Villains are my favorite because I always say nobody thinks they're a bad guy. And what's great is that you get a license to do all the bad things and say the bad things that the writer puts out for you. You're free to do those, and you get the excuse inside yourself to think, this is not wrong. I have to do this for the greater good. You can excuse your behavior. And if you do that well enough, it's just so satisfying because not that you want to do bad things, but to feel like you're virtuous and yet you're killing someone or what have you. And that juxtaposition is what makes Peter so interesting, I think, to watch, because he'll do something horrific. Everyone mouth agape watching him, and he'll turn and genuinely say, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong? What have I done? Why are you so upset? And that thing that everyone gets that of do that. And he's like, why not? That's fun to play. And because he's not a one-sided monster, let's say, that doesn't have any redeeming qualities. So I always love to play the antagonist or sort of the anti-hero and try to redeem them for myself. So at least I don't judge them. Ryan is a dude. He's just kind of a fun-loving guy that plays both sides of the bunkhouse. He's the utility player. He's everybody's friend. He can kind of reach out and connect with everything when there's factions and different things going on. And that's a fun sort of dancer. He doesn't manipulate people, but he knows how to talk differently to each set of people. So that's fun. And that's a more contemporary guy. He's a lot more sophisticated than just a ranch hand. So that's
Yeah.
also very fun, which means I have to listen to other people talk and think. He thinks a lot. He doesn't necessarily say a lot, but you can see that he's connected to all the moments that are happening.
I love it. So it kind of gives you an opportunity as an actor to play different things and learn different things too.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a different dance with the different characters that are around. And again, when Ryan talks to Teeter, he's different than when he talks to Colby, or when he makes fun of Jake or Ethan, or when he and Forey have a moment, or when Walker and he have a little scene. And then now in this season, he's got a girlfriend, so we get to see that side of him, and we get to see him a little bit doe-eyed, watching her sing to him. And so that's exciting. It's much more of a contemporary character that I can relate to, as opposed to a homicidal werewolf. Also very fun though.
I love it. Now, looking back at your career, is there any advice that you would give to your younger self? You've done so much. What would you kind of say to young Ian?
I would say to young me, it's going to be a lot harder than you think. And even when you succeed, it's not going to look anything like you thought it would. So make sure that you really search yourself and know that this is what you want to do. And then I would say learn 3 languages, learn 3 instruments, and don't go out so much. Stay inside and read more books. That's what I would say to young me.
I love it. That's good advice.
Thanks.
What language would you learn of the 3? Just the first one.
Italian.
Italian. Cool. So kicking back to Yellowstone, I've heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, I'm sure you can't say anything, that season 5 is not going to be the end. Now, is there anything you can kind of tease us with at all?
So season 5 got extended to 16 episodes, and we split the 16 into 2 sets of 8, and we finished shooting 8, and we're airing I believe it's 6 on Sunday night, day after tomorrow. And then we're going to have a break through to the early summer, and then the next 8 are going to, and we call that 5B, and then those 8 are going to air. And I fully expect us to do the same for season 6, and to do another 16 episodes bifurcated. And then after that, it's really up in the air. If the people keep watching it and are craving more, then we'll make more. Because there's so much story to tell. It really rests on the writer. If he wants to wake up in the morning and write the show, then he will. And if one day he decides I'm finished, then he'll stop. But if the pace that the train's going right now, it would be really hard to stop it. And I can't see why anyone would want to try. So I imagine you'll have another 24 episodes to watch after this first 8 at the minimum.
Amazing. And what are your hopes for Ryan? If you could kind of tell the writers what you want to see from him, what would you want to see from him?
You always want more. You want more depth, you want more history, you want more backstory, you want more that's not just ranch hand cowboying and bar fighting, which is it's all wonderful, but yeah, I want to know where he came from. I want to know what he wants for the future, and I want his relationship to turn into a full-blown love story, so that he doesn't, perhaps, his life doesn't end on the ranch. I don't want Ryan to become Lloyd, where that's his future, that's everything. There must be more than that, and that is a tall order, because there's so many people on the show. You can't get into that depth with everybody. You just, everyone's got their role, and you do what you do. But I would say a history and a backstory, and I'd like some more interaction with the family, because we don't really get to talk to the Duttons much. It's like we're separate. So it would be fun to have a scene with Jamie. I used to have some scenes with Luke. Those are great. And Kelly, it would be great to have a scene with Kelly.
Well, that's honestly so great. Is there anything else that you want us to know about?
Let's see. So I did Tyler Hoechlin, who plays Derek, my nephew, in the Teen Wolf series and in the movie. He and I did the second season of Superman. He plays Superman on Superman and Lois. So we just finished that second season, wrapped and aired earlier this year. So that was fun to go and reunite with him on that, and then to get back together on the movie. So that's another cool thing that I know the fans are being into. And then other than that, that's my dance card. It's pretty full through the end of, I think, next year, and then we'll see what happens after that.
That's amazing. And when does the Teen Wolf movie come out?
January 26th on Paramount Plus.
Perfect. That's actually perfect because we went to Fan Expo with the magazine this year, and I saw lots of Teen Wolf fans because Tyler was there. So I know that they're waiting and they're ready.
Yeah, it's been a while. They've been wondering when we were going to do another season, or if we were going to do what's going to happen. And this was what the network and the studio thought best, was to get this out as soon as possible. So hopefully we'll do more. I can't guarantee that. But Alpha Pack is a show that Jeff Davis, who is the creator of Teen Wolf, that's his new project, and that will be. It's not got any of our characters. It's not a Teen Wolf. It's not even a spin-off, but they are going to go nuts for that because it's the same genre. It's the same idea. It's just a whole new everything. And when that premieres, which I don't have any clue when it will be, that's something they're all going to want to watch as well. And that will be on Paramount, or it might be Paramount Plus. I'm not sure, but they're going to go nuts for that as well.
I love it. Well, it was so incredible talking to you. I'm such a huge fan.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. We really cannot wait. So
awesome. Thank you. I will see you soon, and we'll do this again next year, maybe.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.